Hello and welcome to Trails and Wines virtual tour. I'm very happy that you decided to join us today and support us in these difficult times when all the historical areas of the world are waiting for the guests to come. So today we are going to visit the local family from Tbilisi, where mother of two children and passionate cook Lali will teach you several interesting Georgian dishes that you can cook later in your home. Lali lives in Sololaki neighbourhood, a very interesting historical part of Tbilisi that also boasts with very peculiar Art Nouveau architecture. And you can see some very interesting houses on the way. Follow me. Lali lives in a real Tbilisi courtyard, so by visiting her you will also experience the atmosphere that is typical for Tbilisi and see how people used to live since maybe more than 100 years. So here is her house, and she also runs a guest house when, of course, the travelers come to Tbilisi. But today we have the whole kitchen for ourselves.
მეც კარგად ხო ძალიან სასიამოვნო რომ მოხდი დღეს ახლა ჩვენ გვექნება პირველ რიგში აღდგომის დღეებია
So today we have special eggs because now there is a period of Easter, and the Sunday after Easter is also marked by special painted colored eggs.
ეს გვექნება ნაციონალური კერძები ქართული პირველ რიგში ეს არის khinkali.
But today we are cooking special Georgian dishes, not only eggs, so we will prepare khinkali,
ნიგზიანი ბადრიჯანი,
aubergines with walnuts,
ისპანახი ნიგზით
spinach with walnuts, or better known as pkhali.
და ჭახალი გვექნება ქართულ სოლში, ყემალში ჭახალი.
And also there will be the salad made of beetroot with tkemali sauce, and Lali is making the sauce by herself. All these recipes are in the small book, and also you will get the copy of this books with recipe once you are completing this video, so that you will repeat and you will know the proportions for sure. So we were always keeping everything clean even before coronavirus appeared, so we are always using the aprons and the gloves during our master classes, so that it will be all done very clean. So are you ready to start with the aubergines? So we are cleaning the aubergines in the way that Lali shows us, so from two sides.
და ფჭრი აი ასეთ ზომებად.
And we cut it in the relatively thick pieces. Oh, too thick? Okay. So, it also needs some training. It's not as easy as it might seem.
და უნდა მოვაყაროთ ამას მალე.
And we add some salt, so that it will be salty enough, because then we are going to fry them. So of course each housewife or each cook has her or his own proportions, but usually Lali puts approximately this big.
და გადავდეთ დაახლოებით ნახევარი საათი დავტოვებთ ასე.
And it should spend half an hour in complete rest. So now we are preparing the walnut sauce that we will use both for aubergines and the pkhali and the spinach with walnuts. So how do we do that? Როგორ გავაკეთოთ ამ sauce?
გვაქვს გატარებული მიგოზი.
So we have the grinded walnuts.
ამას უნდა შევუვიოთ. ეს არის ყვითელი ყვავილი.
So this is marigold.
და ეს არის წიწაკა.
And this is red pepper.
შევუვიოთ. აქ გვაქვს
ციცაკა თუ paprika?
არა, წიწაკა. paprika.
So this is not paprika, this is red chili. Yeah.
Agrobs ახლა ეს არის ხმელის სუნელი.
So this is the mix of spices, Georgian mix of spices that you can buy under khmeli suneli.
ეს არის ქინცი, რომელიც უფრო ცოტა ეს უფრო.
And this is dried coriander. So the most important part of khmeli suneli is utsho suneli, which is blue fenugreek. So we add the spices as well.
Agrobs.
And also grinded garlic. Of course we added according to our own preference, and especially now in the quarantine time we finally can allow ourselves to eat a lot of garlic. So now we mix this paste,
ცოტა მარილი,
add a bit of salt, just a bit, and we add some hot water to it so that it will be more liquid, just a bit. So once the paste is almost ready, we can start preparing stuff for pkhali. So we have to work with spinach a bit. So now I'm cutting the fresh coriander. So we add dry coriander and fresh coriander to the sauce. And after the sauce is ready, we have to start preparing the spinach for pkhali. So now we are adding the last touch to our walnut paste. This is the fresh coriander. So we are using the dry coriander as a spice and fresh coriander as another additive. So look, this is the almost ready walnut paste. So we also give it some time to rest, and we can start preparing spinach for pkhali. So this is cooked spinach. You need to press it so that it will be maximally liquid free in order to prepare pkhali. Now we have to cut the freshly pressed spinach, cooked spinach, in small pieces like this. When the spinach is already prepared, we are cutting the onions that we will be adding to the spinach. Yeah, we have to cut it in very small, delicate pieces. Lali knows it much better than I. You can compare. And then we add the walnut sauce, right? Yeah, that's true. Then we add the walnut sauce to this mix of onion and spinach. And we will need some more fresh coriander as well. So we add another bit of salt to the mix of spinach and onions and coriander, and now we add the walnut paste. And a bit of white wine vinegar. This is very important for this recipe, especially for pkhali. So you don't add it to the aubergines, but you add it to pkhali because it gives a certain taste that is very typical for this dish. And you have to mix it with your hands so that you will feel the structure of the dish. This dish is typical for Emirati region, for Western Georgia. So in this family, Lali is from Central Georgia and her husband is from the West. So of course these traditional dishes are on the table quite often. Now we are at the most interesting part. Usually the children like it very much during our master classes in real life. We are preparing the balls out of our mix of spinach, walnuts, coriander and other herbs, and this is the kind of cherry on the cake or pomegranate on pkhali. Now we are decorating our beautiful pkhali bowls with the pomegranate. It doesn't have any big meaning, but it just looks beautiful and taste-wise it fits it pretty much. So the first dish is ready. Now we washed our aubergines so that we'll not have too much salt on them. Then we are squeezing them very well, and now we are ready to fry them on our frying pan. Be very careful. We have to fry them from both sides. Now we are ready with our first group of aubergines. Look, they got very golden, very beautiful. So we are frying them all and giving them some time to cool down so that we could continue with our aubergine with walnuts making process. So now, in order to save some time, I'm peeling the beetroots for the salad while our aubergines are being fried. And then Lali will explain us everything about tkemali sauce and about the way we prepare this simple salad. So now we are cutting the beetroot for the salad, just like this. So we had the onion and coriander from the previous dish, and now we add also cut fresh coriander and the onions to our beetroot salad. And this is the most interesting and important part, tkemali sauce. Lali just told me the secret of her tkemali sauce. So tkemali is the Georgian sour plum that in this case comes from her brother's garden. So Lali is boiling them, then she separates the flesh of the fruit from the stones, and then makes a puree, and she mixes it with the coriander. Again, coriander is everywhere in Georgian cuisine. Coriander and garlic are two very important parts, and some other secret spices. Now we add some more garlic to the salad. And a spoon of salt. This is probably the easiest recipe because, well, in the case of necessity, you can also buy tkemali sauce in the shop if you have one, because, well, you don't have always time or a brother who grows tkemalis, but in general this is a very good dish when it's completely house-made, so farm to table as it should be. So now we have fried all the aubergines, let them sometimes to cool down, and now we will rock and roll. We will create the aubergine rolls with the walnut paste. Let's see what Lali is doing. How is she doing that? So you have to distribute the walnut paste along the piece of aubergine and then just roll, baby, roll. Yeah. That's it. You can also use the pomegranate seed for decoration in this case.
Absolutely.
So Lali is using her own measures. She says that you don't have to take a lot of paste, but also don't have to save your resources. Alright, now we are finished with our second dish, aubergines with walnuts. Alright, now is the time for our main dish, for our hot dish of today, which is khinkali, famous Georgian dumplings. So here we have 1 kilo of flour, white wheat flour, 1 big spoon of salt, 1 egg, and half of the liter of cold water. Now you have to mix it manually. So you shouldn't use mixer or blender. Lali's advice is to use your hands. The dough shouldn't be very soft, it should be quite tough. As you see, it's quite hard to prepare the proper khinkali dough, so it should be really tough, and Lali puts a lot of effort in it. So after some really energy-consuming minutes, our dough is ready, but we need to give it another 15 minutes to rest. Have a good rest. And meanwhile, we can take care of the filling for this khinkali. So now we are already preparing the filling, the meat filling for khinkali. It's the most classical one, but kind of it's called kalakuri, it's called urban.
Yeah.
Because we are in the city, first of all. So we are using beef meat, pork meat, a bit of black and red pepper, cumin, and greens. So in this case it's coriander, and of course a bit of garlic will not hurt at all. Now Lali is adding the last touch of salt. So we see 3 spoons. And also, and this is the ground cumin. Very nice aroma. Khinkali can be also made with cheese or potato, but it's kind of not very classical version, and we are preparing one of the most classical ones. And we also need to add a bit of water, because as you might know, once you eat khinkali, there should be some bouillon, kind of some. So the water should be cold. So now it's time to start working with the dough again. So you have to make it thinner. So it should be approximately 1 centimeter thick. And now we are cutting the round pieces like this. It's an easy way to make them flat. Just taking 2 at the same time. Now we are making them flat, even flatter. So now we added a bit of water again, so that we will have kind of soup-like feeling for our khinkali. And also, as I already mentioned, this type of filling is called kalakuri or the city khinkali. Why? Because in general, this dish comes from the Georgian mountains, mostly from Pshavi, and also it's popular in Khersureti and Kazbegi. So, in the mountains, there are no herbs or very few, and also they didn't have the mincing machines, obviously, that's why the meat is usually chopped. And here we have minced meat and greens. So then now we see that we made such nice neat flat rounds, and now we are ready to start learning the craft of khinkali making, of proper khinkali making. So we put a bit of meat to the center of the dough. And now we start the most interesting part. So khinkali is also a symbol of sun because it's round and it has those folds as rays of sun. And the more folds there are in khinkali, the more skilled is the person who prepares it. So you see, Lali made, like, she is experienced, and of course she made a very beautiful little dumpling. It needs time and practice. Don't worry if you don't make it from the first time, but in general it's not too complicated. And now we finally start boiling khinkali. So the water is boiling and we put our lovely dumplings inside for several minutes, right? Lali, around 20 minutes. So once the water starts boiling again, we need to check the time, and in 10 minutes it will be ready for sure. Finally, the khinkalis are ready, and we are also ready to proceed to the most exciting part of the whole masterclass, to eating all of this food. Yes, everything is ready. The wine is in the glasses. That's all. We can finally enjoy everything we cooked today. But before we start eating normally, we want to show you one small tradition related to Easter and this week after Easter. So usually in the villages, the kids are fighting with eggs, and the one who is cracking the majority of the eggs is taking them home. And of course, well, in the families we also do it from time to time. It's a lot of fun. So let's try. Choose your weapon. I think this one looks nice. So, so Lali just won an egg. So, yeah. And maybe we can also have a little masterclass of eating khinkali, because it's very important. So before eating, we put some pepper on our plate. Yeah, we can move the eggs for later. Okay, so Lali said that she's preferring to eat this way. So here we have khinkali, and look, the important part is to take it, to hold the tail, and then you bite khinkali and suck the soup first, because it shouldn't spill. If you spill the soup on the plate, then you are very, very bad khinkali eater, and it's a big shame. So you have to sip first and then continue eating. By the way, as you might know, wine is very important for Georgians. It's not only a part of the meal, but a part of the whole culture. Of course, you can also book our virtual tours to Kakheti and Kartli and explore more Georgian wine regions and get to know all of them. But today we have simple, very well-proven friend, Saperavi, very full-bodied, nice red wine that smells like dark fruit and pepper, almost as this pepper that we just put on khinkali. Very nice wine. And I have to teach you a very important Georgian word, which is gaumarjos. It means cheers, and it also means that you wish your counterpart victory. So, gaumarjos, thank you very much for teaching our guests all of this, and see you next time.